demonstration, I'm going to illustrate the process of titration, as well as giving you some safety tips for how to do this in your lab experiment. So what we have here is a ring stand, a burette clamp, and a burette, as well as a narrow neck funnel. One of the first things you want to do is to take your burette and close the stopcock. It is closed when the stopcock is perpendicular to the burette. What we need to do is take your solution and get it into the burette. I'm fairly tall, so pouring into the burette at this height is not a challenge for me. However, if you're shorter, here's what you might want to do. Move it to the edge of the bench and lower it for you so that you don't have to reach up high. Reaching up high, especially if you're short, could actually cause the solution to go down your arm. The other thing you want to do is be very careful on how you pour the solution into the burette. Because it's a narrow neck funnel, it tends to build up, and if you're only paying attention to the funnel, you actually can overfill the burette. So I fill up the burette some, and I then allow it to pour into the burette, and I stop. I fill up the funnel a little bit more, and allow it to drain into the burette again. Just a little bit more, and there we go. At this point, we take our initial measurement, and my burette is filled to 15.2 milliliters. So that would be my initial volume. Now what I'm going to do is I have my solution that I'm going to titrate. And you'll notice that I placed a white piece of paper below it, as that'll help me see the change in color. I also need to add a few drops of indicator into this solution so that I do have a color change. You can see that there's a pale yellow color in the solution. I'm going to lift my burette up just a tiny bit, and I need to be careful because these tips are very expensive. I'm going to put it below the burette, and I'm going to open up the stopcock so that a stream of solution starts to come out. You'll notice I'm now rotating the Erlenmeyer flask to mix the two solutions, and periodically you might want to stop the solution, swirl it some more, open up the stopcock, add some more solution, keep swirling, and I'm starting to see a faint blue color in the middle of my solution here. So I'm slowing down a little bit, and now I'm actually letting the solution come at a slower rate. I'm continuing to swirl. I'm almost there. You can start to see there's more blue color in my solution. I'm going to continue to add a little bit more. And the solution has now changed colors, indicating that the titration is now over. After the titration is over, the last thing you need to do is record your final volume. What we are now at is 36.1 milliliters. In order to determine the amount of solution that you added, you take the final volume and subtract it from the initial volume to determine the amount of solution you added into your Erlenmeyer flask.